Well, I was looking at my bow drill set, my current piece that I'm using for the Hearth board, which I had stated was a piece of tulip poplar. This piece has been awesome. Piece has been really awesome. I'm going to start another divot, and I wanted to show this knife here once again, doing a little bit of stuff out here. I know it's a combat-oriented knife, but the grind and the level of quality in this knife, dexterity, and comfort allow it to cross over into a lot of this type of stuff. And I'm doing this out there for a lot of people who, like myself at times, love these beautiful works of art and functional art and want to use them out here to do certain crafts. So this is good, well, and seasoned, and I wanted to demonstrate like perhaps you would be out in the field. There's no stump, there's no chopping block, we're just out here, we're going to do this. We're just going to do this right here. You could use a down tree or a tree root, wherever one might be. I'm just going to do some work like this right here, and we'll see how it works. This pommel is real nice, and a lot of times here, with any knife like this, we're going to move the wood more than our knife. We're going to try to swivel the wood a little bit. The more you can keep the knife, especially when you start getting larger knives, like this here would be, a little over 6-inch blade. Once you start getting into, blades that are a little bit bigger, sometimes if you're going to do some more powerful things, it's better to move the piece of wood rather than the steel. And this being 3V, you're not going to harm that that tip. That tip is very fine, but it's not delicate, and that's a wonderful quality of a steel like 3V. And I'm putting some pressure into this, like I would be your classic bushcraft knives. And that's what I want to show people overall, is that this knife here can be pressed in to do some things, most things, any of the things really I've asked of it. Now the drill that I had used for this set was quite on the larger side, which is fine, whatever. Doesn't really bother me. So starting it a little bit further back like this, away from the edge where we would make our notch, sort of helps out a bit to accommodate that size. Just enough so we can get that thing started, and I'm pretty sure that is enough right there. And just for giggles, we'll just get a good old V-notch sort of started there, so you can see some of the knife in action once again doing this. And of course, this is seasoned stuff, but tulip poplar isn't the hardest of materials. Like we've talked about before, a lot of this stuff does not need to be pretty. Okay, that would be enough right there to get that piece started, and we would start working that notch as we got it in there a little bit. As any of you know, doing the bow drill, you got to sort of warm the set up, if you will. Now, I'm no guru with it, but that's about what I've taken away from it. This here is just a piece of hard maple, actually, and this is another piece of tulip poplar. And I was just going to get some things going here with this. I find too, that the bigger your baton gets, a lot of times the harder you're going to beat on the piece. Even if you don't mean to do it, just the physics involved in it. So in most situations, it's not really necessary to get these big batons that are, you know, the length of your arm. So we're just going to see, and I think I can pull a usable Hearth board out of this, and this will be good. This will be good stuff. We're coming up on the fall season, and these are a lot of good time to start really, that's a nice piece right there, really start wood shedding and honing in these certain skills. Because if you live in an area like I do, the Great Lakes Basin, you get a lot of you know, wet, cold weather, and if you can woodshed in that and get things to start working in those conditions, when you do reach optimal conditions like summer and things like that, you're ahead of the game. You're used to working under, like I said, wet, cold conditions, and so to be put in those situations is really nothing. So I'll just sort of let this go, and that should be a nice piece right there. And I probably could, we'll try here. We'll see if we can pull out one more. Let you see what's going on here. Yeah, I think that right there could be usable. This stuff is pretty much, actually I think this is nice. This is workable right here. This piece. I could get the fire going with this piece right now. Yeah, nice. So yeah, tulip poplar. That's what I have familiarized myself with in terms of the bow drill fire. But some of you also might be interested, like I said, in this aspect here. If you want a good combat-oriented blade that does the bushcraft, woodcraft, survival, check out the collaboration between Vehement Knives and Bark River. And it's the MACV SOG Bowie. They come in a few different handle materials. Awesome knife. Still one of my favorites. Comes with a beautiful leather sheath. We'll keep this knife working. It's always a pleasure to work it, so you'll probably see it in more videos. Stay tuned, take care, and we'll talk to you soon.